Desperate burglars often become brazen in their attempts, and these two men were no exception. Armed with a crowbar, they approached a small residence in broad daylight, confident enough to carry out their plan without the cover of night. The clip shows one of the men working at the window frame, careful not to break the glass. He pauses to scan the area, seemingly on edge, while his accomplice approaches from the side. The two men use their tools to pry at the window frame, moving slowly and deliberately to avoid making noise or breaking the glass. It takes them about 2 minutes to create an opening wide enough to slip into the building. One of the burglars hoists himself up and through the window. For the neighbors, it was as if the whole scene happened in near silence. The burglars' methodical approach made it likely they would have gone unnoticed. The final moments capture the burglars completing their entry, leaving behind a scene of tension and drama, almost imperceptible to the outside world. While some people don't like having surveillance cameras in their homes, in this case, it proved to be very useful as it caught a pretty thorough break-in by a few people.
Safeguard to ward off these two. Check out the video. Timestamp 11:32 Tuesday.
How else could one explain how a bunch of men smashed in a person's door after jumping over the fence? The man who was burglarized had had this happen before, learning from his first experience and covering his property in surveillance.
They jumped the fence and ran straight to the back door. The man in red has his face covered. The man in black, well, he figured he'd just pull up his shirt. Enough for him, he thought. They break in.
The men used a rock to break into the house, spending roughly 3 minutes stealing jewelry, a laptop, and a few other items. Later, the homeowner wasn't sure what to do next. Clearly, this is a pattern of behavior, and even a gated community like this isn't safe.
The help of a rock, got in at 11:36, got out at 11:39, scored a haul too.
A box of jewelry which they put into a coach purse.
Burglaries don't always unfold under the cover of darkness. Sometimes they occur at the crack of dawn. At just 2 in the morning, a CCTV camera captured the cautious approach of a lone burglar as he scoped out his target.
It's a Friday morning at 2:20 a.m. and a distinguished gentleman is walking down the North Circular Road with a suitcase as if he's just come in from Santa Ponza.
The footage shows him walking up to a house, carefully reading a banner and making sure the coast is clear. He then circles the property, searching for an entry point, only to be joined by a second set of people who remain unaware of his presence.
We see Daff appear in front of the moose box. What might he be doing? Daff tries to open the moose box at several points.
The robber slips into a catering box, and one might expect him to emerge with valuable items. However, what he actually takes is surprisingly mundane.
Spots them, and he stands deadly still, in a position not unlike the Statue of Liberty. The couple do not notice Daff either.
To everyone's astonishment, he emerges with nothing more impressive than a plastic trash can, along with about 50 euros. The haul seems barely worth the effort.
He continues to work away at the moose box and eventually is able to prise open the top section of the door.
He then makes his quiet exit, carrying the plastic bin and a Santa suitcase, leaving the scene with the same stealth with which he arrived.
Doors of the moose box, as if he wants to have a little nap. He needs privacy, after all.
Terrifying moments caught on camera show a Phoenix homeowner defending themselves against several suspects trying to break in. The Phoenix Police Department released this surveillance video, which shows 4 men kicking in a front door only to be met by gunfire from the homeowner.
You can see 4 men kicking in a front door only to be met by gunfire from the homeowner. That homeowner says they were alerted by a motion sensor linked.
The homeowner reported being alerted by a motion sensor linked to their surveillance cameras and managed to arm themselves just seconds before the door was breached. The suspects quickly fled the scene in a gray car before officers arrived. If you recognize these men from the surveillance video, call Silent Witness.
Their surveillance cameras, and they were able to arm themselves just seconds before their door was kicked in.
The suspects quickly fled the scene in a gray car before officers arrived. If you know who these men are by the surveillance video, call Silent Witness.
On April 12, 2024, police responded to a call about a home invasion in Toronto. CCTV footage captured the dramatic entry of 2 armed suspects wearing ski masks as they broke into the house, clearly intent on finding valuables. The footage shows the men confronting the homeowner and robbing her of her money. After their theft, they fled the scene in the victim's SUV. The stolen vehicle was later recovered, and the suspects were apprehended at a mall and taken into custody. In Arlington Heights, a home invasion was captured by a Ring camera. The footage shows 2 intruders dressed in black jackets, caps, masks, and gloves arriving at a residence. The intruders notice the camera and are seen examining it. Moments later, the door is opened by the homeowner, and as the intruders enter, shouts are heard from inside. Shortly after, one of the intruders is seen fleeing outside with the homeowner in pursuit. The homeowner punches and curses at the intruder until he manages to break free and escape. The homeowner then rushes back into the house. Police are looking for help to find 2 men who are responsible for an armed robbery in southwest Miami-Dade.
For help to try to find 2 men responsible for an armed robbery in southwest Miami-Dade.
According to the police, the victim was in his yard when 2 people jumped the fence, pointed a gun at him, and demanded that he hand over his necklace. The victim handed it over, and the crooks took off.
And demanded his necklace. The victim handed over the jewelry, and the crooks took off running. If you know anything, call police.
Some armed robbers are skilled at blending in to avoid suspicion.
This is for you.
In East Haven, one such robber posed as a delivery man with a package for the homeowner. He approached the house and waited for the unsuspecting homeowner to open the door. As the homeowner reached for the package, the robber suddenly drew a pistol from his waist. However, the homeowner wasn't entirely defenseless. He struck the robber in the chest with an object, causing him to stagger back. Realizing his plan was failing, the thief quickly ran to the waiting car and escaped. A Chicago homeowner, Jason Williams, got an alert from his security camera that an intruder had broken into his house.
I looked, if there was an available weapon. There was a frying pan laying there, so I grabbed the frying pan.
There he is, chasing the suspect.
This clip shows him chasing the suspect out the front porch with a frying pan in hand. The homeowner takes another swing as the suspected burglar opens the gate and flees. But he didn't get away easily, as the cops immediately caught sight of him.
Out the front porch with a frying pan at the ready. The homeowner takes another swing as the suspected burglar opens the fence and flees. Not so fast. Here come the cops.
The next video shows a violent robbery that happened in Fairfield. This unsuspecting man, who just got home, was unprepared for what happened next. He was trying to open his door to go inside when a man dressed in all black came at him from behind. The robber held onto the man's right wrist, demanding if he had anything in his pocket. The victim tried to put up a fight but was struck with a gun in the head.
Hey, don't move. Hey! Shut up. Look, you got everything out your pocket.
Becoming more submissive, the victim struggled less as the crook took his belongings and fled while he hurriedly entered his house. This next snippet is quite a remarkable story about porch pirates caught in the act.
Now to this incredible story. Porch pirates duke it out for a box right after it's delivered, and it is caught on camera.
In Sinking Spring Borough, Pennsylvania, surveillance footage captures the moment two men struck as a package was delivered right to a home where the residents were present. The two men arrived in separate cars and immediately targeted the package. One of the men even picked up a flower pot, seemingly to fend off any potential interference. The box, which contained a phone from AT&T, was taken, and the homeowner is baffled as to how the suspects knew it was being delivered. The police are still on the hunt for these two suspects. Some of the most terrifying crimes are handled calmly and without emotion. The robbers in this situation make their way into the house without issue, covered from head to toe. They slowly move into the living room, completely unaware that they're being filmed. Calmly, they begin discussing what they plan on stealing. There's a method to it. Nothing too big, only things they can pick up and walk out without issue.
Let's go. So you got speakerphone? Can you get out some? No. Are we going to do this? Yes. We can go rapid. Right, remember to avoid that door on the way out. Avoid that door.
They make a second round on their way in, coming back for more stuff. The sterile way they make their way through the house, their practiced movements. It's unclear whether these men have done this before, but it's hard to imagine it's a first-time job. More importantly, how to do it right. In downtown Los Angeles, a home robbery was captured on surveillance cameras. The footage shows a car trailing two victims who were waiting for an elevator. Suddenly, gunmen emerged from the car, storming into the elevator lobby. They demanded the victims' jewelry, money, and keys before fleeing the building. Police are seeking public assistance in identifying and locating the suspects.
This video just in, a frightening scene of a follow-home robbery in downtown LA. Surveillance cameras showing a car following the two victims. The two men waiting for the elevator, the gunman jumped out of their car.
On September 14th in Portsmouth, Virginia, an elderly couple was robbed at gunpoint in their own home, and the incident was captured on their Ring camera.
Get in the crib, don't say nothing, Y'all get the closet right now.
An elderly couple robbed at gunpoint in their own home, and it's all...
The footage shows two armed men forcing the couple into a closet. While the woman complied quickly, the suspects grew impatient with the man, who was slower to move.
The couple go into the closet. The woman goes in right away, but the suspects get angry when the man moves too soon.
The woman then returned to help the man retrieve his walker. When he walked toward the wrong room, one intruder angrily redirected him. The video further captures one suspect searching the living room and kitchen for valuables, including cell phones, before both suspects left with a safe and other items. In Houston, Texas, a home invasion took a dramatic turn when 4 armed men forcibly entered a residence. The incident unfolded at midnight. The intruders, armed with rifles, arrived and attempted to break down the front door. Despite 2 unsuccessful tries, the third attempt succeeded, and they managed to knock the door open. As the men stormed inside, they were met with a barrage of gunfire from the homeowner, who was firing from his bedroom. Miraculously, the invaders managed to escape unharmed. A Texas resident successfully thwarted an attempted break-in at his apartment by an intruder posing as a maintenance worker. The intruder claimed he was there to inspect the apartment's air filters, but Rodriguez knew no such inspection had been scheduled. When his deception failed, the intruder knocked on the door of the adjacent room, but got no response. Frustrated, he resorted to kicking the door open, using his body and legs to force it. At this point, an accomplice emerged and joined the effort to break into the apartment. The situation escalated when the homeowners inside began shooting at the door, causing the intruders to flee. The Dallas police responded swiftly to the scene. In the footage, a determined homeowner in Clayton County, Georgia, successfully defended his house from a group of would-be robbers. During a nighttime break-in attempt, the robbers targeted the wrong house. Evidence of the shootout was evident on the homeowner's BMW, which was parked in the garage.
Ring camera. I'm noticing a young man running from my neighbor's yard across my front lawn into the middle of the...
Whitefield Smith, the homeowner, observed the suspects via his Ring camera. He saw one young man running from a neighbor's yard across his lawn to join 2 other individuals. One of the men made a critical mistake by approaching Smith's driveway and trying to break into the BMW.
With 2 other gentlemen.
One of the men made a near-fatal decision.
Sprints up my driveway. I can see on camera that he's hunched down, wearing a gray...
Smith, aware of the situation, grabbed his rifle and fired at the intruder. A shootout ensued, with the robber returning fire while attempting to flee. Smith successfully repelled the attackers, using his BMW as cover. A mother's fierce determination to protect her children was put to the test early one morning in a dramatic confrontation. A casually dressed man approached the house near the highway.
Close to 10 in the morning, this guy casually walks up. He knocks on the front door of this Miami Gardens.
The man began to force the door open, kicking it repeatedly. Despite his efforts, the door remained intact. The woman inside heard the banging, but initially thought she was dreaming. When she saw the man through the window, she rushed to grab her shotgun from the bedroom as her children screamed and cried.
Tries kicking it down repeatedly. A mother inside with her 2 young children, but investigators say he messed with the wrong mom.
The intruder finally managed to break in with one last forceful kick, but he was met with a gunshot from the woman. The man quickly fled, fortunately escaping unharmed. On October 11, 2019, at around 4:05 a.m., a distressing and unusual invasion occurred in a homeowner's residence, but this time, it wasn't a human invasion, but an animal invasion. Home surveillance footage shows the homeowner's dog sitting calmly at the entrance of the house when a leopard suddenly attacks. Neither the dog nor the homeowners were aware of the looming danger. The leopard seized the dog by its head. Despite the dog's desperate attempts to escape, it could not free itself from the predator's grip. Tragically, the leopard killed the dog before the homeowners could intervene. Under the cover of darkness, these intruders approached this house with a menacing intent. Armed to the teeth and shrouded in hoodies and masks, they made their entrance through the front door.
They're dead asleep. They're dead asleep. I swear to God.
One of the men took the precaution of disabling the doorbell camera, ensuring their identities remained hidden. Once inside, the intruders demanded to know who was present in the house. Despite the children's cries echoing through the rooms,
I'm opening. I'm opening. I'm opening. I'm opening. I'm opening.
What's your name?
I'm opening.
What's your name?
their sole focus was on locating the family's money. The thieves exhibited chilling disregard for the family's safety, driven only by their greed. In the morning light of April 14th, an unsettling scene played out as a carefully orchestrated armed robbery attempt unfolded. The footage captures a man, disguised as a delivery person, approaching a house with deceptive calm. Dressed in a home delivery uniform and clutching a parcel, he appeared to be a typical delivery worker.
I don't think this is for you.
But the facade was a cover for his true intentions. As the homeowner opened the door, expecting a routine delivery, the man abruptly shifted his demeanor. He feigned reaching into his pocket for the delivery, only to reveal a gun and rush towards the homeowner with malicious intent.
Dressed as a delivery driver with a package. When someone comes to answer the door, the suspect keeps up the act, saying the package may be for them.
However, the homeowner's quick reaction turned the tables. With a firm push, the homeowner repelled the attacker, forcing him to retreat in haste. The would-be robber stumbled back to his truck, leaving behind the failed robbery attempt. In an unusual turn of events, a robber found himself trapped while attempting to break into a store. His plan was to access the store through the ceiling, but things quickly went awry. After managing to enter through the door, he was met with an unexpected complication. The door closed behind him, locking him inside.
This robber caught on camera breaking in through the store ceiling. He opened the door to get inside, but as he entered the hallway, he accidentally let the door close behind him. The robber didn't know, but when he tried...
Unbeknownst to him, the store owner had cleverly set up a trap door specifically designed to thwart thieves. The robber, now caught and unable to escape, struggled in vain.
To get back out, he realized it was actually a trap door that locked him inside. It turned out the store owner had been robbed so many times. He removed the handle and even reinforced the...
His plight was eventually discovered when the store owner alerted the authorities. Police arrived swiftly and apprehended the frustrated burglar at the scene. In East Willenbury, a distressing home invasion occurred, as detailed by the New York Regional Police. The incident unfolded just after midnight when the police received a call about an attempted burglary at a residence near Charlotte Abbey Drive and Holland Landing Drive.
New York Regional Police have released video of a home invasion in East Willenbury that happened yesterday.
Police say they were called to this home in the area of Charlotte Abbey Drive and Holland Landing Drive just after midnight.
Upon their arrival, the police discovered that armed intruders had forcibly entered the house. During the break-in, one of the assailants struck a resident with a firearm and aggressively demanded money. Despite the chaos, the intruders managed to steal valuables and make their escape in a light vehicle before law enforcement could intervene.
One of the residents at the home telling police several men broke into the house and had guns. One of the suspects hit one of the residents with a firearm and demanded...
In a harrowing home invasion captured on security footage, two masked and armed men were seen prowling around a room while their victims lay helpless on the ground. The robbers, wielding rifles, looted the house, stealing approximately $100,000 worth of jewelry and other valuables from the homeowner, Katie. They ransacked her belongings, including tools, jewelry, and a safe containing crucial funds for her college tuition and rental savings.
At the start of the video, you can see two masked armed men marching around a room.
rifles in hand.
Following the crime, one of the robbers, Joe Banks, was arrested. He was convicted of robbery and sentenced to 2 years and 3 months in prison.
With the victims laying on the ground. The guests.
In a quiet Seattle neighborhood, a man in a flannel shirt seemed to be out for a casual stroll.
And this flannel-wearing man is out for more than just a neighborhood stroll. He's casing houses.
But his intentions were far from innocent. The would-be intruder was carefully sizing up houses, unaware that his every move was being closely monitored by a vigilant homeowner, a seasoned Marine who was watching the camera feed. As the man lingered near the front door, he likely thought he had the perfect opportunity to strike. But what he didn't know was that the Marine had already slipped into action, preparing to intercept him. When the intruder reached for the door, the Marine confronted him head-on. What followed was a tense physical struggle as the two men clashed, rolling down the front steps and grappling fiercely on the ground. Despite the intruder's attempts to break free, he was no match for the Marine's combat training.
Tussling on the ground, the intruder quickly discovers that he's no match for the hand-to-hand combat training of a Marine.
With the homeowner's wife on the phone with the authorities, the police arrived just in time to assist in subduing the invader. Thanks to the Marine's quick thinking and bravery, the neighborhood was spared from a potential break-in, and the suspect was taken into custody. 3 robbers were caught on camera during a break-in at a home in Atlanta, their actions vividly recorded by surveillance footage.
3 robbers caught on camera breaking into a home in Atlanta.
As the armed intruders wreaked havoc inside the house, a woman emerged from a back room with a gun. One of the robbers pointed his weapon at her, prompting a tense exchange of gunfire.
A woman holding a gun comes out from the back room. One intruder points his gun at her and shots are fired.
In the chaos, the robbers quickly fled the scene, with the woman giving chase and subsequently calling 911. During the confrontation, one of the thieves was fatally shot. Authorities later ruled the shooting as self-defense, so the woman will not face charges. The identities of the remaining 2 robbers are still unknown.
It looks like the men scramble to escape as the woman chases them.
On January 6, 2023, a Houston restaurant turned into a scene of high tension when an armed robber entered, disrupting the otherwise calm environment. Masked and wielding a pistol, the robber demanded money from everyone inside. Terrified patrons complied, throwing their cash and valuables onto the floor. Amid the chaos, one brave individual, clad only in a shirt, took decisive action. As the gunman approached, this customer drew his own weapon and fired at the robber.
The restaurant customer who shot and killed an armed robber is coming forward today.
It was then discovered that the robber's pistol was a fake. This courageous act not only thwarted the robbery, but also ensured the safety of everyone present. The incident ended with the would-be thief fleeing the scene, and order was quickly restored to the restaurant.
Then this happens. He makes a startling discovery about the robber's pistol.
On July 18, 2017, 2 armed men targeted Texas store owner Kurum Manga and his son in a dramatic robbery attempt. The robbers, brandishing their guns, sought to intimidate the pair, but Manga and his son stood their ground. Despite their brave efforts to subdue one of the thieves, both men managed to escape. Fortunately, Manga and his son were unharmed during the incident. In their hurried retreat, the robbers left behind a loaded gun, but despite this oversight, they managed to evade capture. In a disturbing turn of events, a Ring camera video captured a harrowing robbery in North Carolina. The footage shows a homeowner being confronted by 5 armed men who coerced him into unlocking his front door at gunpoint.
A group of robbery suspects forcing a homeowner to unlock his front door at gunpoint.
As the homeowner returned home, he was struck on the head by one of the assailants, who wielded a firearm. The robbers then proceeded to ransack the house, making off with money, a cell phone, and some undisclosed drugs. After their crime, they fled the scene, leaving law enforcement to use the video footage in their pursuit of the suspects.
As he was returning home, one of the robbers hit the victim on the head with a gun.
On the night of July 9, 2015, A Bradenton home became the site of an unimaginable tragedy. The couple, Cantrell Brooks and Esther Denuse, were brutally murdered while their 5 children, huddled in fear, witnessed the horror. The night's events were captured in chilling surveillance footage, showing 3 armed men forcefully breaking into the home through the front door.
Now at 11, a couple killed with their 5 children close by. Tonight, we're taking you inside the Bradenton home where it happened for new clues.
The aftermath was a scene of pure horror, with Brooks and Denuse found dead in pools of their own blood. As police arrived, they found 2 bedrooms where the children had been sleeping, their toys and clothes scattered around the bloody crime scene. In the master bedroom, a monitor displayed the haunting footage of the intruders breaking in.
We can show you just as disturbing. 2 bedrooms where up to 5 children were sleeping, now turned upside down by detectives and family members.
A grim reminder of the last moments the couple might have seen. Despite a thorough investigation, the motive behind this brutal attack remains a mystery to authorities. The Toronto police have released surveillance footage showing 4 suspects trying to break into a house through the back door. The previous day, these armed robbers, dressed in matching outfits, had attempted to breach the same residence, but failed. To aid in their capture, the police have made the video public, asking for assistance in identifying and apprehending the suspects.
Police have released video of 4 suspects wanted in a break-and-enter investigation in Scarborough.
On a Saturday, near KRA and GR, a suspect initially rings the doorbell of this house and knocks, but receives no answer. After a brief pause, he begins to pry open the front door with a tool. Suddenly, someone inside starts screaming, causing the suspect to flee.
This is Saturday near Coelebra and Gollum Road. You see the suspect here. First goes to the house and knocks on the door, ringing the doorbell there.
This incident was captured on Ring video. It shows 2 people returning from a casino when the suspect attempted to enter their home. The victims managed to lock the door and prevent him from getting inside.
The robbery was captured on Ring video, as we showed you on King 5. 2 people were coming home from a casino when a man ran up behind them and tried to get inside. They were able to lock the door and keep him out.
3 men decided to pay an unholy visit to a large house while the owners were fast asleep at night. The intruders entered one after another, with the leader taking the lead. Checking if anyone was around, he went into the lobby to his right, followed by the other 2. One was armed with a knife, while the others only wore gloves. They walked upstairs to the man's bedroom and after a while, returned downstairs, not with cash or kind, but armed with kitchen knives and wires. The leader moved toward a room, but hearing movement as the woman awoke, he quickly ran back to join the others. In an unexpected move, the woman fired a gunshot from the room, causing the intruders to flee by jumping through the window. The husband, awakened by the gunshot, rushed downstairs armed with his gun. To protect his wife, he searched all the rooms to ensure the burglars were no longer inside. A couple in Idaho survived a home invasion that could have very well cost them their lives. The lady, relaxed on the couch, was busy with her phone, unaware of the impending danger. As she rested, a loud bang suddenly threw the door open as an armed intruder barged in. He immediately pointed his shotgun at the man, who was in the room opposite the entrance stairs, asking him to sit.
The intruder orders Caspian to take a seat. Then he turns his attention and his shotgun toward Caspian's fiancée on the couch.
Then the intruder turned to the lady on the couch, who was paralyzed with fear. Summoning his courage, her companion charged at the intruder and started wrestling for control of the shotgun. Isabel quickly rolled off the couch, trying to call for help but unable to voice out. The unrelenting intruder began dragging him down the stairs. The man managed to overpower the suspect, seizing the shotgun and kicking him out of the house. 2 minutes later, there was a knock at the door, and you won't believe what it was. The intruder wanted his shotgun back. The man and his companion refused, and when the intruder tried to force his way back in, they overpowered him again. The police arrived, and they handed over the shotgun, recounting the entire incident. Later that night, the suspect, a 28-year-old man named Eddie Walker, was arrested. He pled guilty to the crime and was sentenced to 11 years in prison.
Arrested that night was 28-year-old Eddie Walker. He pled guilty to aggravated battery